Good morning, Floss 2. Welcome to Many Warm Stitching Memories with MJ. I am here to go through my second WIP bag that is Meet Me at the Farmer's Market. In here, I know that I have a few WIPs and I have some things that are partially kitted. And the WIPs that are in here, I'm not really able to work on much because they need items. I had started this video earlier. It cut me off because my battery died, and then I started it again, and for some reason it timed me out. So I know my other video was very long. I'm going to try and make this one shorter. So I was taking everything out of bags during, and I know that that's extremely noisy, so I'm going to try to limit the amount that I do that. And then in future, when I'm doing WIP updates, I will try to take things out of bags ahead of time and, not deal with glare issues. This is a complimentary pattern from Cherished Stitches 1776 that I had partially kitted up and had started for a challenge this summer, and this is as far as I have on it. It was put to the side because it needs more flosses. This was a pattern that I started that a friend of mine gifted me the pattern at her house, actually I'm just going to go by Firefly because that's kind of her nickname. So this is Unto You is Born This Day a Savior who is Christ the Lord. I do not have the right size fabric, so I have had to edit the top border. I still need to do some frogging and editing of that. And then I need to get some more flosses, and I also need to find the pattern. My needle minder for this is We Need to Come to Jesus Meeting. And I think that a number of you may know that that's a frequent phrase of mine. This is a Sweetheart Tree pattern called Blackberries on Gingham. It's a Biscornu pincushion pattern. I was gifted this by S. And all these people I'm using initials, I need to find out from them if they want their names mentioned. So she had done part of the stitches and had put a few beads on it and then decided she didn't want to finish it, so she gifted it to me to finish. So I have started with some more of the stitching, and then I will someday finish it into a biscornu. I have made one biscornu in my life, and it took me forever. So this one I do need to take out of the package because the fabric is much larger than the bag that it is in. This is another one she gifted me that she started just a little bit of the border, and she decided she was never going to finish it. It is an M Designs Home is Best sampler. And it has, called for colors are Gentle Arts and Weeks and things of that nature. I'm only probably going to use the specialty ones for like the barns, the buildings, and the old blue jeans that goes around the north, south, east, west. Home is the place I love the best. But all the little small houses and small details I'm not going to use specialty fibers for. This one was put to the side because I need to get some more specialty fibers. I don't know the name of the fabric. She gifted it to me, and I don't know what it is. She also was one who was very good and uses all the appropriate borders that I never do, so I need to learn from her. So basically, she started one of the outlines, and then I finished that outline, did the other outline, and now I'm working on this first house. So I worked on it for some challenges this summer, but I didn't have all the threads. And that is one thing I am kind of a little upset at myself about, is I have things that I wanted to work on. I knew they were partially kitted, but I needed to complete a challenge, and so I went ahead and jumped and started them, and then I can't work on them anymore. So I don't mind starting one if I already, if I can keep going with it if I want to, but if I don't have enough to keep going, I think I'm going to choose not to do that again. This is a shepherd's bush printworks pattern called Snow Child. This is a pattern that was gifted to me from a lovely lady when I used to stitch in Threads That Bind that used to be open in Plano, Texas. They have since closed many years ago now. I miss them. I miss all my friends there. I miss the staff. I miss having the space to stitch, like people to stitch with. So now, Snow Child here has some bands, and each of these bands are specialty stitches. So each one of these, like, there's a house and a heart and a house and a heart, and then each snowflake is a different, like, set of specialty stitches. I don't know anything about specialty stitches yet, so I chopped off the snowflakes and move the border up. So that's why let me turn it the right side around. So I just went ahead and took the border, what I thought was going to work for, and then however much I can put, pretty much I think it's just going to be to the bottom of the snowman. I don't think I'm going to be able to put anything else but just in the snowman at the border, and I'm fine with that. I love the bottom 2/3 of the pattern, and I will probably stitch this one again in the future after I get more confident with specialty stitches. This one is really not that much to be done. I need to finish the snowman, I need to put his arms on, I need to finish the border, but I keep putting it to the side. My hour-long video that I didn't know was going to be an hour, I was talking about, before my battery died, I was talking about how I was having a problem finishing my whips, because when I got to a certain point in the whip, I realized I wasn't going to be able to fully finish it anytime soon, and so I would put it to the side so I could still enjoy it as a whip. And I know it makes no sense, and it's just my own hang-up, but I have avoided finishing things. I couldn't figure out why. I recently have figured it out, that I don't like not being able to fully finish it. So if I can't fully finish it, I don't want it finished and just sitting somewhere where I can't enjoy it. Oh, I do have a needle minder on here. It's a little star. And so because there are so many, little star motifs in this, I thought that was appropriate. I do apologize for the crinkling. This is a complimentary pattern, so I can't show you it. It's called Easter Basket, released by Mill Hill and Witchelt in 2014. So it's basically a basket that has a bow and it has a Easter egg on each side. And so this is how far I am on it. And my needle minder is R2-D2 and C3PO. I know that Star Wars has nothing to do with Easter, but I think I didn't technically start this until May, the year it came out, so that's probably why I picked it. Gail French, and I think it was called Stitchers Anon, was her group on Facebook. Holmesley Hare was her main character, and he had little friends. And she had a stitch along that I was doing, and I have misplaced the pattern and the threads. So this is all I have started on it. But it's basically a saying with a border of flowers, and then there'll be a couple of bunnies on here. But then in in here will be Holmesley, and then the donkey, which I forget his name. So that'll be what this will look like. And I think this is Floba. I think that's what they call it, but it has the darker strand running through the lighter Ada. I think that's what it's called. It's a 14 count. I miss her patterns. I miss her group. I miss her positivity. This is another complimentary pattern from Plum Street Samplers. I think it is still available on their site. It's called Autumn Blessings. I don't have a color picture of it. I just have the chart that I printed out. I didn't print out the color picture. And I started it again. This is when I started this summer for a challenge, and I did not have all of the flosses for it, so I had no business starting it. But I did for a challenge, and I haven't touched it since because I need to shop. The next one is the same thing. This is Barbara Anna Silent Night. I do have a picture of it. Here we go. It's basically the same pattern done in 2 colorways. So I've kind of chosen the darker fabric option. And this is All the Farther I Am. I love the colors of these houses. They're very unique. They're very bright. I need to shop. I just need to find an L&S that's just going to let me come play in their threads for like half a day. Twilight Santas. This is one that there are 2 different Santas on. One is Merry Christmas. I finished him in a previous year with some color changes to the border. This is Noel. And I was working on him a lot this summer. I had him fully kitted, I thought. Obviously, I stole some of his threads because I have no flesh colors, so I could not give him a face or hands. I also found a little bit of a piece of iridescent white that someone had given me, just like 1 strand of. I have no idea what it is. So I wanted to use it somewhere, so I'm just putting it along the top edges as the top stitch on the snow. So, shopping. I started I Love Pancakes specifically for a challenge. Again, I didn't have it all fully kitted. The pattern is in a PDF format, and I didn't print it out, but I don't know what device I have it stored on because I've had some computer issues, so I don't know if it's on a thumb drive or on one of my 2 computers that are both right now broken. So it's basically a stack of pancakes. I was doing this for Semi-Sane Stitchers, one of the district competitions in the beginning parts of Stitcher games. That, of course, I did not meet the requirements and did not continue on in the battle. This is my Marauders map bag. It's the vinyl front bag from Stitch and Button. And I love it. It does not have a Harry Potter pattern because I don't have a Harry Potter WIP right now. This has my DMC Eiffel Tower. It's another complimentary pattern from DMC from their website. And this is on 14 count navy blue Ada. And I'm about 2/3 done. I was working on it a lot this summer as well, and I had to stop because I lost one of the 2 threads. There's 3 colors in it. It's 2 shades of gray and white. And I had lost one of the shades of gray, and I know that it had fallen out of its bands. I didn't write down the colors, so I just found it today when I opened up another bag. So I can now continue to work on this because I thought I was going to have to go shop to be able to work on this one as well. So this one is one I'm hoping that little bit will be enough to finish. I know the darker gray that I've been using, which is the smaller amount needed, is 414. So I'm thinking this might be 413, but without going and seeing in with others, I don't know that for sure. So I was afraid to continue on with it, not knowing. This is my Air Force bag. This was made by, I think, Brenda's Minders and More. I hope that's correct. This is a complimentary pattern, so I can't show you it. It was compliments of the Cricket collection. It's called July Daisy. So it's basically a daisy flower head in patriotic colors, in American patriotic colors. So this is done on cornflower blue. I'm not sure who the manufacturer is, but this is my progress on it. So all of the center is done. I'm starting kind of the last circular row, and then it has the petals. So this is my progress on it. And this grime guard is from Brenda Miners and More. Both of my parents were Air Force. I was almost Air Force. My first fiance and last boyfriend were Air Force. All of the divisions of the American military are represented by members of my family from both sides. So I am definitely a military brat. Proud to be so. Thankful for our military and all of the safety and comfort that they provide. Not only the active military, but the veterans and their families. I love them all. RETM is a person I was blessed to meet. She used to stitch in Texas. She moved up north, and I lost touch with her, and I'm mad at myself for doing that. But she has since come back to designing and releasing patterns, and I'm so excited to see what she's coming up with next. I have a few of her patterns, but I don't know where they're at. But I have one of her little drawstring bags. So when I do find all of her patterns, they will go in this bag. But for right now, what this bag is housing is my 2 Dimensions Kit heirloom stockings. So this is Sarah Jane. I pretty much love everything about this. I love the rocking horse, the movement of the rocking horse, all things dogs, all things horses for me, or really all things animals. I'm an animal nut, but dog nut, horse nut. But rocking horses, carousel horses, unicorns, Pegasuses, and horses of all times, I collect. So in a little bit, this is, some representation of me in here as well. I love teddy bears. I almost played the drums. My parents did not want me running around banging on everything in the house. The ball. I did play a number of sports when I was young, and I loved spelling. And one of my favorite games to play with my friends was school. I would have friends over and we would play school. I usually wasn't the teacher. I was usually the student. I just loved school. If I could afford to, I would probably be in school my whole life because I love to learn. This is Jonathan, and this is the one I did start already, and it's in a Ziploc bag. So Jonathan is a house, and it's a teddy bear on wheels, which I love. And then the train here at the bottom. As much as I loved things little girl, I was a tomboy, and so I did play with trucks and trains and cars and all of those things. So stupid things, half raised in the country, half raised in the city. I did all the, jumping off the top of the shed. Whatever the boys were doing, I was jumping in. I know why this is put to the side is I have to frog this whole portion. There is no way to fudge it. I have messed up dearly. I don't know where I've messed up, and so I have to frog all of this. But because the kit is from 1987, the fabric and threads are also from 1987, I'm being very careful in my frogging as not to damage the fabric. So I don't want to change it. I do love the color, and I kind of like the fact that it's older. I am doing this set in honor of 2 children that I helped raise when I was younger. So I will change the Sarah Jane to Terry Ann, and I will change Jonathan to Alan. They will represent those children for me. Terry Ann has passed tragically, and I have lost touch with Alan in the last few years, so I miss them. The needle minder on here is the letter M with a rose, and the center parts of the letter M form a dagger. It's probably not in a proper aesthetic for a child's stocking, but these stockings will hang in my future home, and it will have their names on them. It's just my memory pieces for them. So the fabric that I stole from the animal, antique animal, one with all beautiful animals. The fabric that I stole is for this project. I am so thankful and grateful that this pattern was given to me. It's a Barbara Batts. I've been looking for her patterns forever, and this is my favorite one. This is Angel of the Harvest. I love everything about it. I love the nature, the animals. I love the grapes. I used to work in the wine industry. I love all of the colors of her dress. I love the angel wings, but I'm not sure with the fabric that I've chosen, even with back stitching, that her wings are going to show, so potentially I'll be taking the wings off. This fabric was what I had used to start the antique animal sampler on, just a little bit of the border. I'll be frogging that out, and I think I'm going to use this beautiful light tan color for Angel of the Harvest. I have measured and remeasured and calculated and recalculated, but because I'm not trusting that anymore, because I historically have had problems, I want to get all of the colors of her dress and start this from the bottom up, so that I'm doing the whitest part of the pattern first, so that I know that it's going to fit before I do more. And this is in my Garon toten bag. I'm sorry, I'm holding. So this is beautiful fantasy castles. So, there are a few more things in this bag, but they're not kitted, and I did want to keep this a little bit shorter. So what I will do is go ahead and end this here, and then perhaps I'll do another one of the items that are in this bag that are partially kitted, because they do need to go along with this shopping trip. So it was great spending some time with you this morning. I hope that if you enjoy Floss 2 videos in general, and mine in particular, that you will subscribe. Thumbs up, hopefully. I'm okay with thumbs down, because I love constructive criticism. So definitely ideas, tips, tricks. If someone wants to teach me how to edit, I would love that, because I have tried to figure it out on my own and just not getting it. So I have just, for now, I'm avoiding the editing option. Let's see, do I have anything else to say today? No, I think that's probably all for today. So I hope that you have a wonderful day, that you're somewhere enjoying your many warm stitching memories. See you later.